Well, again, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I'm Ron, and this is the first ever drones and pizza night. Yeah! Thank you so much for coming out as we continue to kind of navigate together. Thank you. Pizza gets going. We're gonna start smoking. All right.
Are you gonna take one? Whoa! All right. Excuse me. This looks good. This looks like Domino's. Oh, I got a little cola. Not the most. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're overtime.
Hey, we're live.
This, I was like,
We're on TV. I'm looking at myself watching the camera. On TV, eating pizza. That's weird. I'm like, wait, that is weird. Oh,
No, it's just me.
we're muted. Yeah. Unmute. Oh, it's going, guys, it's going slower than real life. Look.
No? So this is a type of drone. There's a couple different types of drones that are out there. There's anything from military grade that are actually a lot bigger. They're bigger than cars. To something semi-professional where you're using it for photos, video, or surveying. This is actually one of the, I guess, on the lower end of a professional drone. There's other ones that are a little bigger, anywhere from 4, 6, 8 propellers that you can find. So these are the propellers. And then there's also the toy drone. So if you ever want to mess around with one, the one that you can hit against the wall and you won't get in trouble if you break it. There's those as well. So the way that these work, they have 4 propellers. They're controlled by a remote. That's my remote's over there. These specific drones are a little cooler than the toy drones if you haven't seen them before. So these will actually stay in the air if you don't do anything. So once you put it up in the air, just leave it there and it'll stay where you left it for the most part. It'll hover around a little bit until the battery dies, and then it'll come down safely, ideally. If something goes wrong, then it can crash. And there's a lot of YouTube videos out there of people crashing drones. So if you ever fly one of these, you just got to be careful where you go. Notes of safety, please stand behind the red cones. These things do spin pretty fast. And can't hurt you. So if you're ever around the drone, don't get too close to the propellers if they're on. Right now mine's off, so I can grab it like this. Cool things about these are very portable. This specific brand of drone, you can actually fold them in. And like what I do is I go to job sites, so I look at construction sites, and for me this is a lot more efficient than one of the bigger drones because I just fold this up, put it in my bag, get going, and open it up when I need it again. It has a cool little camera in the front, and this is an older version. Some of the newer versions have actually better cameras now. Right now, you can't tell very much, but you can kind of tell that it's moving around a little bit. Once it's on a gimbal system, actually same like this setup right here. So the camera will actually try to stay in the same spot as the drone moves. So as the drone moves up and down, side to side, it'll try to stay in the same spot so that your footage isn't very choppy. Because if anyone's tried to take a photo while running or of someone running, you can see that it gets a little blurry. So that's actually another really cool thing about the drone technology, the cameras that they put in them. Some of the bigger drones will actually have just a mount kind of like this that you can put a professional camera on and take video shots of people like snowboarding or motocrossing and stuff like that. These little propellers, I think I mentioned it to someone before. So they're not flat, if you can tell. All right, they're a little angled. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you told me that they're angled so that they can fly better, sort of.
Yeah, so they're for efficiency, and also they're made so that you can actually fly them a lot better. These specific ones even have a little bit of a tip to them. So these are actually engineered by someone that does a lot of tests on them, so it doesn't make too much noise. So sometimes what complaints that you get with drones is that they're really noisy because of the propellers. These specific propellers are made so that they don't make much noise. Some people can still say that they're pretty noisy. Other thing about these, they have a lot of sensors. So like this one on the bottom has 2 sensors right here. So this is using sonar. Has anyone heard of sonar? What it does? Yeah, go ahead.
It sort of feels the vibrations around it.
Yeah, so it emits sound waves. In this case, the waves hit the ground so that you know how high your drone is. So this will actually tell you how high the drone is flying or where it is. What's really cool about some of these semi-professional drones is that they'll tie into GPS systems. And for like me, that if I have to do something with construction, it'll help me pinpoint something very, very accurately. So I can take a lot of pictures and tell where in space I am or in the world. Actually. Also has 2 in the front. So if it detects something in front of it, it has sensors so that it stops it from crashing. Obviously, sometimes they fail and they still crash. So you still got to be careful when you fly a drone. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Last cool thing about this one is this is the battery. So I mean, it's most of the drone.
Yeah.
Let me put it up here.
For the record, Reese is the expert pilot, and I only get to fly when he lets me. So when Ron gets the controls, everybody's done. That's right.
I put the cause not for you, but for Ron.
I don't get out much, but when I do, it's dangerous. That's why he's doing all the demos.
Quick tip: if anyone ever hasn't flown a drone before and is going to fly one, never turn it on when you have it in your hand. 1, obviously the propellers might fail, but 2, it will miscalibrate your drone, and that's how I crashed my first drone. So I turned it off in the air, and then tried to lift it off, and it went sideways, and it crashed. So never turn it on until it's on fully on the ground.
And I crashed my first one when I flew it in my house.
Don't fly it indoors either.
Yeah.
It didn't work very well.
Make sure there's not
Somebody put the ceiling right there.
Well, there it is. So, as I was saying, these drones will just stay there. Until you tell them what to do. Or you can also make them spin around the object, or you can manually control them. And that's just forward. Sorry if you couldn't hear me. So you can control them manually, go up and down. I think someone asked before too how high these can go. Depends on the drone. Obviously, if you have a military-grade drone, you can go really high. Civilian ones, you can't go more than 400 feet above the ground, just because you have to get special. No, that's like 20 feet, no, 20 meters, so 60 feet, approximately. I just capped it at that, so we don't go any higher. But actually, probably for the demonstration, put it up higher. Maybe not in flight. Yeah, okay. I can't do it right now. But yeah, you can go higher. Sometimes they're so high you still can't see them very well. Controls are actually pretty easy. You just go back and forth. Again, if you ever do get one, don't panic. Let it. It doesn't do anything, and then you can think about what your next move is. Yeah. Any questions so far?
I got one.
Go ahead, Travis. Go ahead, Travis.
Do you need a license to fly a drone?
So, yes and no. If you're doing it recreationally, you don't need a license, but there's more restrictions on what you can and can't do. So you have to do it as a hobby. For stuff like commercial purposes, you do have to have a license. Yeah. And you just take a test and yeah, you just have to know a little bit about airspace and all that stuff. Derek?
I'm sorry if you answered it before already, but are the propellers, are they flying all in the same direction, rotating the same direction?
Actually, no, that's a very good point. So the drones actually have a certain way that you put on the propellers because they don't all go in the same direction. And if you put the, let me, so this particular one has indications on the propeller. They have a little circle, and then the outside has a bigger circle. If you don't put them in the right one, it won't go smooth. That's another way that you can crash a drone, is if you don't put them in the right one. So these are, they don't have any marks. These have a little circle and then a bigger circle on the actual mount right here. That's a good question. Yeah, they go actually different directions. So these two go in the same direction, and these two go in the same
Why
direction.
do they do that? I don't know the same direction, you know?
I believe it's just the way that it goes up, but I don't know too much of I'm not too familiar with aerodynamics.
Gyro effect. The gyro effect.
Yeah, right. Isn't it like the
It's the gyro.
electromagnetic field, right?
Stability, actually.
I think so, right?
Yeah, so they don't spin. It keeps them stabilized.
I think that sounds right.
That's why a normal helicopter has the
back
rotor in the back.
Like Sikorsky has two going. They actually go opposite directions.
Yeah.
So they,
I think this is basically two of those. So you have two going in opposite direction and two going in opposite direction. And that's what makes it also stable. Yeah.
physics.
Electronics, maybe?
I think physics.
Yes, yeah.
Aerodynamics.
Yeah. Stability.
How much rain can you fly it in?
Until it crashes.
We're gonna find out.
I mean, I've flown it.
All the way to crash a drone.
You're right. So, I mean, basically, as long as you don't get water in here, which is what goes from the battery to the drone, for the most part, I mean, this will be fine. You don't want to do it in pouring down rain. I've never had an issue except for yesterday. I had my first issue with water, and it wasn't even the drone; it was my phone. And my phone's supposed to be almost waterproof, and it failed me with the input where I put the drone. For some reason, got water in it, and it wouldn't let me fly it. But other than this is fine right here. It won't do anything to the drone itself, and then it heats up too pretty well, so it actually keeps it pretty dry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Transmitting video from. You transmit video from there down to your phone.
Yeah. So you actually this particular model, you put a phone to it so that you can see what's going on, and you also can record and take pictures. And it has a little memory card slot right here. So you put a SD card, and
So that's for recording.
yeah.
You know
So
how? Sorry, my
Go ahead.
electrical computer. Do you know how it's transmitting the signal?
I don't, but I imagine it has something to do with some sort of radio signal. There's extenders for these so that you can actually get it further, but I don't know how. So the drone itself records it on the memory card, but to get it to your phone, I think it uses some sort of transmission. I'm not too sure what kind of transmission.
It's not going over the cellular. You think it's going over the cellular?
I don't think it's cellular because you can do it remotely.
Or Wi-Fi. Okay.
I don't think it's Wi-Fi either, because you can go 4 miles.
Ours connects to at least our drone, but use Wi-Fi and you connect on that.
If you do it Wi-Fi remote, yeah. But I think when you go like the RC mode, you can go up to 4 miles with these. So I don't think it would go on it's not on a Wi-Fi network. I think it's just on a different radio transmission.
And assuming the technology cooperates,
Yeah.
the grand finale after the race is coming up will be, since this is a Zoom event, this will be a Zoom live stream. Grandma could be watching it back in Wisconsin or wherever. Okay? We're gonna do
I think
a
Sam's in
fly
Wisconsin,
through.
right?
He's gonna do a fly through. And we're gonna Zoom the fly through.
Yeah,
That's the grand finale.
The other cool thing about drones, so yeah, they're cool toys, but we actually use them in day-to-day construction business all the time. So you can actually get software to where you tell the drone where to go, and it'll take a lot of pictures, and then you can actually put them in software, and it'll make a 3D model for you. So I don't know. Now, they can do some pretty cool stuff in the real world STEM world. You ready?
Almost. Coach, I need some help here. Okay, so we're gonna do a little test run here. Okay. We're gonna see who the real pilot is.
What about that? You haven't got the drone.
We're gonna do a little
His phone's
racing.
about to die.
What? So, I have a
Actually, it's
charger
not
over there.
really
You can,
racing,
there's a little
it's just
port here.
gonna
You can
be
put it in a charger.
Laughing together. So this is a Math Pro 2. It's a little different model. It has a gimbal, if you noticed on it, the camera. I'm gonna shoot down, everybody wave. I'm taking a picture. And then here I'm gonna do a little video. All right, Luis, what's the deal? Where's the
Right?
So, Luis, what's the course?
You got to get the red cones and back.
The red cones and back.
Yeah.
Well, let me figure out which red cones you're talking about, buddy.
Soccer practice?
I'm gonna have to keep mine a little bit lower. Because I don't want to do this and really be in trouble and just lose it. Because that would be really bad. Right now it's way up there. So we don't want to lose it. I'm gonna stay lower so I don't do things like that. Okay, so who's money? Who's gonna be betting their slice of pizza on Luis? And who's gonna bet on the old team dude?
You're in front of me.
You have to touch the red cone or just get to it and come back?
I think you gotta get that and come back. But he's gonna see you.
Yeah.
Don't tell. I mean, let me see. So who's gonna do the start?
All right, well,
All right, and then what a catch up package you do it, right? All right. All right, so you got to put the arms up. Now, what are we doing again?
right to the cones and back.
The cones and back. Oh, we got to make sure crashing. What happens when we hit the tree? I think we let go. We're done. Oh, that's, yeah, you know what? I think I'll be back.
Take a picture and get the bottle.
We'll get the. Oh, I think we call it a tie.
No.
Well, who's the winner? Enjoy it. All right, so for our final activity, we're zooming this. And so you should be seeing, if you're logged in on your phone, you should be able to see the image of what the drone is seeing in your phone, because we're going to spotlight that in the event and share it for all to see. Look at that.
Mom, see? It's perfect. It's like that you drone is seeing your beautiful garden. Would that be perfect?
Is that pretty cool?
Oh my gosh. That is really high. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Is that where we are?
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Altitude reached.
Oh, there. Wait, what? 400 feet? Oh, wow.
Yeah, go Steve!
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Altitude reached.
That scares me.
So this is what it's showing on a typical.
You can see so far. Do you see that? What? Wait, watch it. You see that? Yeah.
This is share screen.
So cool to make them pop.
So this is taking over the
What's
view.
Oh, free! I'm gonna hack Minecraft. Don't you have to download hacks? I mean, you can.
How cool is that?
So cool,
Right?
So cool.
If that doesn't excite you, I don't know. Well, thanks so much for coming out. Just feel free to mingle around. We got more pizza and questions. We got some engineers hanging around, and T-Dog, great seeing you. Boom! You're looking good.
I want to play it.
One of the things that we're doing is we're talking to other people, and I know Coach Eric has got some friends, and we're trying to get more drones so you can fly. So we can have some for share, like we have the Minecraft.
He's got some of the mini outdoor ones, that smaller ones that do tricks and things.
These ones, unfortunately, they're not quite as disposable.
Can you do a trips?
I can turn it off in midair. These particular models, I think about 20-25 minutes per battery. So it has remote. So it has a lot of sensors, and you can also, when it runs low, it'll return back to where it's gone.
What are you doing? You just got brickrolled. Oh, God. Ah, I'm a bandit. Oh no, he's a bandit. Wait, he can fly? Travis. Jason Travis. It knows Travis. Run! It's not tracking him anymore.
You want to try to race it?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to race? Who wants to race this the old steam?
We'll just catch up. Who wants to join?
Okay, so what you gotta do? Who's gonna do the start?
Everybody race. You have to back up to the line.
You gotta come up to the yellow cone. The shape spread out.
Okay.
Wait, I gotta back up.
You gotta work hard.
It's a good way to help with, getting the steps in.
On your mark.
You do drone racing.
Go! Focus, go! I don't think you got to the red cones yet.
Uh-oh. I got a tree in my way. All right, I made it.
Oh, quick, Mr. Drone is fast. He's turning around now. Go, 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 go. We beat the drone. He's coming in hot.
You did. You know how you guys set up that tree in the back. You didn't have to go through the tree.
Oh, wow.
Don't go too low though. Keep going higher. There you go.
Wow. Emma's getting
You are awesome.
That's cool.
Is that awesome?
That's about good there. So then you'll practice your, and then yeah, you have to be able to move these and still watch the drone. That's actually part of the license.
Look at the drone.
Okay.
Don't touch this one though, okay?
Do that. You go up. Keep going up and up and up. And I'll just go until it stops you. Oh, that's pretty high. All right, now slowly bring it down.
What happens when I press this? Like, what happens if I press go? Does this go forward?
It goes forward, but you're probably not ready for that yet. Because when you go forward, it'll go like to different places, and if you don't see where you're going, you can potentially catch like those trees right there, or like the kids that were there. So that's why you're not ready quite yet.
Okay.
But we're gonna get some smaller ones so that we can have people actually race them. Yeah, thank you for trying.
Okay, last race. Get set. Yeah.
Yay!
All right, ready? Get set.
Ready? Hey!
All right, so the batteries are about there.
The battery's safe. Yeah, it's love at night, so.